So, Shaun, who have we got on parade today?
Taff, we have got Chris and Claire from Manchester, from the Trafford Veterans, and I'm really excited for them, Taff. They've got some amazing news for us. Chris and Claire, how you doing, guys? And welcome to On Parade.
Hi.
Oh, thank you.
Now, you're both ex-military. Claire's in the Navy. Who was you with, Chris?
I was with the King's Regiment.
Someone has to be. Taff, what do you think?
Yeah, kings or queens. As long as you've served, it's great, isn't it?
Fighting talk.
All right, they get enough of it.
And most veterans in their houses have their little wall of fame with their medals and pictures. Out of the pair of you, who's got the top spot?
I'd probably say me at the moment.
No way.
No.
Serious.
Only because I've got more up than Claire has.
So, tell us, what is the Trafford Veterans?
After leaving the army, we struggled because Chris unfortunately got fired from his first civilian role.
What sort of problems were you going through? Was it PTSD or just a transition out of the forces?
Yeah, a bit of both really, because I got diagnosed with PTSD. Claire got diagnosed with PTSD roughly around the same time.
You could do a sitcom on our house sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And we thought, this isn't right. There's got to be other people out there that have been in similar situations, and we wanted to just share our experiences to say, look, you're not on your own. We set up 5 years ago and we struggled. There was a lack of support. The bigger military charities were there, but they didn't have representatives in our area where we live. So we set up our own sort of community group to provide peer support activities through a breakfast.
An allotment. Model and craft group.
We never realised it would be this big, did we?
No, 5 years ago we were just expecting a few people, doing the odd event here and there, just to get information out to veterans and that. But now we're this big and the sky's the limit.
Yeah, you'll have your own football team next.
We've got a walking football team.
Oh, brilliant. How does that work then?
You walk with a
We
ball.
walk.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, typical para, walking. I would explain it, yeah.
We encourage people to share their hobbies and skills, and they're the ones that go and set up the groups, and then we support them. And it gives people a purpose. It works really well.
Now, I've been watching what you've been doing with the veterans up there over the last few years, and you've had your struggles, but you had some fantastic news this morning. What happened?
We applied for some funding from the Veterans Foundation, and it's the largest pot of funding that we've ever put in for. We've been successful, so fantastic news, really. We can go ahead and buy a transit van, which will help us with the deliveries that we've been doing. To do the food run to our veterans on a Thursday, it's just delightful. Just this last week, we delivered to a World War II veteran who'd just come out of hospital. He'd not been home since November. Yeah. Our chairman had picked up on it, sent a message, and for the past 2 weeks, we've been delivering food to him.
I bet, the joy you're going to be bringing now with that extra bit of dosh is going to be fantastic, mate.
Yeah,
fantastic.
I get to spend it.
Yeah, that's the good bit, yeah.
Now, just tell me before I forget, what's this little film that you made for VE75?
We had so many plans for VE Day. Obviously, with the lockdown, we've not been able to do that. Well, because people will be at home, we bought a job lot of bunting, distributed all the flags, didn't we?
We did. Now we've got to collect them back in.
Yeah, we've got to collect them in. I think the Royal Artillery one's still been used as a tablecloth.
Oh, God, typical.
It's still been used as a tablecloth somewhere.
It's a tablecloth.
Yeah.
I think it goes under the tea urns.
Yeah.
Right.
Got in touch with a company in Scotland, and we commissioned our own Trafford Veterans tea with a VE Day logo on it.
Nice.
We made some mugs, which I've got here. With a logo on it, see, with a logo on it. On the day, we went round taking photographs of all the houses done up. Some of them had dressed up. So we'll put the medals on and saluted and done all sorts. And we pulled all these pictures together and did a short little film clip of it. It was really good.
Talking about the pandemic, Chris and Claire, and people being isolated, have you found anybody needing that extra bit of support, and have you been able to get it to them, and how have you done that?
Yeah, we've had to completely adapt and change the way that we've been supporting the veterans, haven't we? Most of our activities tackle social isolation, and we did that by the people coming to activities and events, and we've had to stop all of that. We've set up what's called a phone tree. People knew each other from the breakfast but didn't necessarily sit together before. And with their permission, they're all kind of phoning each other and getting in touch with new people from the group. And it's really working really well.
If you look back now over the 5 years, what's been your most memorable moment thinking, yeah, I made a difference today?
There's been a few moments like that, but I guess when we had World War II veterans all sat together at the same table pulling each other to pieces, that was the icing on the cake at the breakfast event. It was just fantastic. And one of those guys is 99 in July. He's on the Lancaster Bombers.
He was on the Lancaster Bombers.
Really?
Yeah. And he got pulled to pieces for being the RAF, you know, and he threw it back.
The game as good as he got.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Let's do a big cheer for Trafford Veterans. I think it's a lovely, lovely story. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Restored my faith in the Navy.
It's like a community model, we call it, because we're completely different to anything that's around us. And I think that's what's made us really successful, isn't it?
Yeah.
We include members of the community as well as veterans, and that's worked really well.
Chris, Claire, you've been amazing. Love you to pieces, guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Be amazing. And we'll be watching from all the way down here in London. But we're with you all the time.
Big salute to Trafford Veterans. Big salute.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God bless you guys. You're amazing.